So what's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of the LeafyTV podcast. Very excited for this one today. We're joined by Thrash, aka Thrash94Gaming. Thrash, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Having me. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so in case anyone's unfamiliar with who you are or anything, you want to just give a quick intro, who you are, what you do around here?
Hi, I am Thrash, also known as Thrash94Gaming, and I am excited to be here.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. It's perfect. So today, of course, we're gonna be chatting a bit about NHL. I assume mostly about HUT. Unless, do you play other stuff?
I mean, I've played a little bit of everything this year, yeah. I mean, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I mean, I know the ins and outs, right? Like, I know
Yeah.
pretty much everything that's happening in the game, so.
But like, how much time do you put into other stuff, like be a pro, franchise, World of Shell?
94.7% HUT.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So that sounds good. So last week I spoke to Nuge.
Okay.
Who obviously someone who plays NHL very competitively.
Yep.
Doesn't really care too much about the things that don't concern the competitive aspects of the game. So as I continue to talk to different people, I'm really interested to see how different player experiences, and whether you're hardcore, competitive, both, more casual, how that changes your viewpoint of the game and what you think
Sure.
would make it better or worse or whatever. But anyways, so with that said, well, since you're 94.7% HUT, we can start off with asking you some questions about what you probably know most about, which
Sure.
is PAX. So
Pretty much the only thing I know.
because, like, I mean, if I had to call one person an expert in the field as like a professional pack opener, like, you're the first name that comes to mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how do you feel about packs right now? What are they good? I've gotten some complaints that packs suck. So what's your take?
My take is that never open packs. It's not worth it. I'm being completely honest. Like, as somebody who opens packs legitimately every day on stream or for a video, and the amount of times I get nothing, I get one good pull, and people are like, "Oh, fuck, there it is, man!" Like, every day you get something good. It's just not true. Like, I went literally weeks without getting a big pull. I finally got one, and everyone was like, "Why does EA give you free stuff?"
Right.
Bro, like, what do you want from me? Like, at the end of the day, don't open packs. They're awful. They're absolutely awful this year.
So, what do you think fixes that? You want like better odds or what?
I don't know if I want them fixed is the thing.
Okay.
It becomes a whole thing with the market and the ability to obtain cards and stuff like that, right? I don't know. I wonder if a solution, which would never happen, by the way, I'm fully aware, would be to not be able to buy packs but only earn them. Obviously, never going to happen. Money. But that would be one way to, I think, help a lot of people with the market and whatnot, because there's people on one side of the spectrum that are like, my team sucks and it's because of EA and they never give me good stuff. And then the other people are like, why does everyone have a good team? You know what I mean? Like, it's there's no pleasing everybody. So I don't know if I want packs to be better, but I do think that something should be done where maybe more of a guarantee on cards, like more packs where you're guaranteed at least an 86 in this pack. So right now we get ones where you're guaranteed an 82, but an 82 has no value. So
right, that makes sense. Yeah, because I think like one thing that people are worried about when they say make packs better is that then like you get the market kind of oversaturated a bit, and like cards just lose value. Like then,
exactly,
like if packs are better, then everything else is worse, kind of in a way.
Well, okay, so I had a conversation with another streamer the other day, actually, who said that the game is 100% pay to win. You cannot change my mind. And right now, I'm going to completely disagree because I'm bad at the game and I have an amazing team. So that doesn't help in any situation. If I have one of the best teams in the game and I can't win a game, obviously the game is not pay to win.
Right.
But if everyone has the same team, you're going to see the best players come out. The problem is everyone wants that satisfaction of getting that big pull in that pack, right? It's kind of like, well, not kind of like it's gambling, right? You want that big hit, you want that big pull. The problem is, as the year goes on, getting a big pull doesn't mean anything anymore. You get a 90 overall card, you're like, cool, that's 50K, awesome. So I don't know if there's something that can be done to maybe protect the longevity of the value of cards, but I don't know. Having the conversation with different people, obviously, everyone has their own take on things, but with where packs are right now, I think that everyone can have a good team pretty easily by grinding the game. But if you want to avoid the grinds, put $100 in the game, you have the same team. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, I don't know. It's I'm back and forth on the issue. I am.
No, I mean, it's fair because like there's so many things that factor into it, especially with
Hmm.
Ultimate Team, that it's a tough one. But I think one thing for me that I think the reason that people have such a problem with packs is because of actually how many you get.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like, I think that because in Hut, when you play, like, no matter what you play, you're given packs. Like,
Yeah.
there's no guaranteed rewards, like, pretty much whatsoever, except for those recent objectives that they've finally put out, which
Yeah.
we've never actually seen before.
Which I love, by the way. They
Yeah,
should
no, I
definitely
love those
incorporate
too,
packs.
100%.
Awesome.
So I think, like, that kind of skews it a little bit because normally, I think in past years, you wouldn't actually be opening so many packs, so you wouldn't have as much disappointment with it, right?
I would be, but
Well, you
most
would
people
be.
wouldn't be.
You would be, but most people wouldn't be, right? Yeah, so I think that that's probably a big reason why that's a common complaint. And I think, like, for sure that we need to have more of those guaranteed rewards as
I
far
think that would
as,
definitely be beneficial.
like, or like you were talking about earlier, where you get packs where something is, guaranteed 86,
There's
but maybe it's
nothing
not like a
worse.
player.
There's nothing worse than watching someone like Henrique open probably 20 straight ultimate packs and not pulling anything above an 85.
Right, exactly.
That's atrocious. He finishes, top 20, top 50 every week and is not pulling anything. Why is he even bothering to play,
Yeah,
Um
for
so
sure. And I mean, you can relate that to any level of player
Oh yeah,
because
absolutely.
even
Absolutely.
if you're only a 10 win player or something like that in
Like
champs.
myself.
I don't know what your hot champs is like. I don't play it, so I don't really
Depends
have any
on
way to
week to
relate
week.
it.
Sometimes I win 15, sometimes I win 10. I'm so inconsistent. I don't know what it is.
So I mean, I think that the frustration is for everybody, but obviously
Yeah,
for the people that have those super high end rewards, you definitely want to have something to show for it other than it's like,
exactly.
especially if you're like right on the edge of missing the hut champs card and all you get is packs, and
Yeah,
then
and you get nothing
like
in
the
the packs.
difference is so big from a guaranteed 90 whatever to nothing.
I don't know.
um
I wonder. I remember like past years where we had like CS, and I don't want to keep bringing up CS because everyone's like, "Bring in CS. I want CS." But okay, if we only have champs and champs is what we're given. I remember back in CS, like top 500 would get a card, but it would be a different card.
yeah,
You get like a 91 overall this for top 10, hypothetical. But like people who finished in the top 400 were getting like an 88 this guy. It's a different player, lower stats, but still really cool to grind for. It, someone that you want to go after. Right now, if you're not finishing top 500, what's the point of even playing champs because you're not getting an ultimate pack?
right, exactly. No, I think that's also, and since you brought it up, I think that's one of the reasons why people want CS back is because of
Yeah,
the, like, not only
rewards.
the guaranteed card, but also the fact that like events were incorporated into it.
Exactly.
So what's I mean, since you brought it up,
I
what's your
mean,
take on CS?
obviously, I want CS back, but I just want something to do. I guess would be the best way for me to put it. I feel like Hut is so we do this on Monday, and then we do this on Wednesday, and then we do this on Friday, and then it's champs, and then we do it again on Monday, and then we do it on Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like it's the
Mhm.
same thing every week. They did change Rush to start on a different day, which is kind of cool. Something I had a hand in. I am taking full credit for that, by the way. Thank you, community. Um, I feel like so we have weekend league, I guess you could say, right? We have a
Yeah.
weekend league with Hut champs. But throughout the rest of the week, like you don't need to even play rivals to get rivals rewards because you get rewards from playing champs. Um, and the fact that there's a game limit on the game, like I don't know how you can only have two modes in the game, and each mode has a game limit that are combined. So like if somebody wants to grind rivals and they want to move up division or whatever, and they want to get top rewards, they just have to stop. They have to wait a few more days until they're allowed to start playing again. And I think that there needs to be something in between. If you're gonna put a limit on rivals and say rivals ends on Tuesday and it starts again, cool. But then you have champs on Thursday. Give me like Monday to Friday competitive seasons and make champs weekend only. something like that, something where we can play and earn rewards, but it's not the same damn thing every single week that has no association with what's happening in the game.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing in general for the repetitiveness is the fact that Rivals doesn't ever change anything. Like the
Yeah,
rewards are
it's
never
identical.
related to anything that's going on with
No,
events because even though all that's happening, then you still only get the same basic packs and
yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
And I think that that's definitely really important in this way of making events feel like actual events rather than just more sets that they're just kind of throwing at you.
They incorporated a little bit of stuff at the beginning of the year with Heart Rush,
Yeah.
with the event, which is, it's cool, it's something, and then they just stopped doing it. I don't know what that is about. I don't know
I
why they stopped, but
I wonder if it has anything to do with, maybe people feeling like they don't want to be forced to play out Rush, but you never
maybe.
were, right?
I mean, no,
You
yeah, it
never
was
had
never.
to.
No, you were getting, oh, here's a couple collectibles, or here's a player from the event or something, but it was never anything that was like game breaking. I need that card, or else I am falling behind everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or it was
I,
never like, or it would give you like something that you needed for the set, but you could always get it otherwise, like buy it on the market or whatever, right?
yeah,
But yeah, I think that's one thing that also people say all the time is that people like the events don't really feel like events right now. Like
it's
they
just
just kind
a
of feel like
new
new
couple cards that
sets.
come out. That's it.
Yeah.
That exactly new sets. Couple new cards come out, and we're supposed to be excited that nothing is changing. It's just the different cards.
Right.
Um,
So, do you have other ideas for like the setup of events other than, integrating them into the gameplay and the modes?
I mean,
How to make them more interesting, how to make them feel more significant rather than just new sets to toss gold collectibles into?
well, first of all, I hate gold collectibles. I hate that system. I absolutely That's my least favorite thing that I think EA has done. Not because I don't think that like having 700 collectibles a year is a great thing, but I think that there needs to be a little bit more variety to it because it's all gold collectibles. No matter what, gold collectibles, gold collectibles, gold collectibles, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, but like I remember the day where like we had like the All Star event way back when Larkin won the skating competition, and
Yeah.
Larkin got that awesome card, and you could build him, but you had to have All Star collectibles and the sets go away after a little bit, and then you're like, oh, I gotta get those all-star collectibles. Now people are hoarding their gold collectibles and waiting until the best event comes out and just spending them all, getting the best possible cards, and then selling them and being, high rich. Um, I think if you're going to have collectibles and stuff to build cards, that's fine, whatever. I like what they are doing now with these current masters, like the McDavid that's out right now, where you can build him up, but you don't have to go all the way. Like you start with an 87, and I think I stopped at 94. Cool. I have the 94 McDavid. I'm not going to go any further than that, but I have him, and he's going to be a really good card. You know what I mean? I don't have to
Yeah.
keep going. Um, but I also like again, it's incorporating all gold collectibles again. And I think that if you want people to be excited about certain events, you have to make the items exclusive. And that's something that like I've talked about on stream myself, and a lot of people had agreed that the problem with events right now is that hey, get some gold collectibles, save up your gold collectibles, because if you don't like the event right now, you're just saving your gold collectibles, and then you're gonna have 50 gold collectibles for the next event, and the cards kind of become saturated because so many people have those cards because they save their collectibles.
Right.
I don't know. I when I think about an event, my favorite event of all time is that All-Star event because I keep thinking back like you had to make this card, and if you made this card, you could trade that card in for the next master or the next player. And at the end, when you finally got the master player, you got all the players back. They were untradeable, but you got to keep every single player. I thought that was awesome.
Right.
I just got 5 new cards for my team after building all these master players or whatever, and my team is looking awesome, and they're all exclusive players. I think more exclusive, more English is hard for me, by the way, and I'm sorry, but being more exclusive would be great. Like, so we have a Connor McDavid this event right now,
Yeah.
and next week he's going to get a prime time, and he's going to be the same overall. You know what I mean? Maybe make the
Yeah.
cards. Maybe make the cards like someone like Anthony Mantha got a card. He's not getting it. He's not doing anything in the NHL this year. That was a smart card to give out because he's not going to be reaching 94 overall anytime soon with the way he's playing. So that's
Yeah,
a smart
I
card to give
always
out.
like that with being a little bit more strategic with the master
Yes.
sets so that they don't overlap with people that are frequently getting cards. Which I mean, like I don't know, there's two sides to it, right? Because like you can give Connor McDavid one master set, it seems fine, but
Sure.
you have to know that that's probably gonna come back like or at the prime time or whatever, like you said.
Yep.
I think one thing that one thing that I talked about with Nage last week in regards to the sets was like, we don't, you want more variety, but you also don't want, I think, I always think back to like, there was a Thanksgiving event, I think it was NHL 18, where you needed like
The
10
Leaf.
different collectibles
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
to make this master set Patrick Kane, and they had like a cornucopia and like a pumpkin and like I don't even know what
Yeah,
kind of
I
stuff,
remember
and
exactly what you're
it was
talking
just
about.
so ridiculous. Like the and I think the worst part was that like the collectibles were so common
Yeah.
that they weren't even worth anything, so you just had to go through and just buy like 10 of these each one just to do the set, and it wasn't even worth anything, and it was just more tedious than
Yeah.
anything else. Like it wasn't really a good setup. So I think that's definitely probably one reason why they've gone from doing that to doing gold collectibles, but now it kind of feels like they've completely overcorrected in the other direction.
Yeah. I think one way that you could have done that, if we're still talking about the Thanksgiving collectibles, let's just stay on that topic real
Mm,
quickly here. Um, make them one untradeable. But you have to earn them. You like I like the idea, and I'm one of those people who plays the game a shit ton. Obviously, it's my
mm,
job. So I like the idea of okay, so we're playing. If you win 5 games, you earn a collectible pack that's gonna have 5 random collectibles, but you have to keep going. You might not get all the collectibles that you need. If you keep grinding and grinding and grinding, you'll finally get it. You know what I mean?
right.
I like that idea. Or if you're gonna maybe not 5 games, but you know what I mean, like just different objectives to earn the collectibles. If you want to have, you have to incorporate throwing players in the set or something else to make it more expensive. I get it, that's fine, but the one collectible, the universal currency, I am not a fan of.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think it's definitely been a common complaint from the hut community too, that it
Yeah,
just makes everything feel really boring and samey rather than new events actually being exciting. Because, like you said, and I mean that's like something that every player has done is like, you don't like the master sets for this event. I mean that sucks. You just save your gold collectibles. Wait till next week. There will be new ones that you can just
yeah,
toss them
exactly.
into,
Yeah,
and it doesn't change anything. So I don't know. There's a convenience factor there, but it's probably a little bit too convenient where it kind of just makes it
yeah.
boring.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good word for it. Boring. I like that.
um. So do you play any other Ultimate Teams, other sports games, or anything like that?
I played a little bit of Madden when it first came out this year. I've
Mm,
tried it probably every year because I mean, like we get it, right? So,
yeah.
um, I jumped in, I played it. I understand how everything's working. I'm not a fan of the gameplay for whatever reason this
Mm.
year in Madden, but I have played it. So,
Yeah, one thing I always like to ask people is if they know of other things that Ultimate Teams do well that they think
yeah,
would be well incorporated into NHL. Like people always say, "Oh, MLB has the best Ultimate Team. Diamond Dynasty is amazing." Like things like that. I have never played it because I don't play on PlayStation. So, I was just wondering if you had any takes on what other Ultimate Teams do well that
I
NHL
had
could adopt.
played Diamond Dynasty 1 year. I played it, and I gave up on it probably a month in because I found it so boring.
Really? Wow. Okay,
I
that's an
found it
interesting take.
extremely boring. And it's not just the gameplay. And I am a baseball fan, so it's not that either. I just found I had a great team the first week in. There was no reason for me to wait for the new cards to come out in 6 months if that's how they do it, because I already had a good team that I don't know. I assume that 99 is the max, and I had a bunch of, high 80s, couple 90s already.
Right.
I was kind of like, okay, so what am I waiting for? You know what I mean? Like, do I need to do anything else? And after a month, I was like, okay, nothing's changing. This is kind of like it's cool, but at the end of the day, like I'm still waiting for something, a reason for me to want to grind, and I never got that with MLB. So, no, that definitely could have changed over the last few years. It has been a while since I've
Mm.
played MLB, and I even tweeted out the other day saying that I'd like to try MLB again, but the comments that came from that tweet were essentially what I had experienced, when I first played Diamond Dynasty. So I'm not too sure about that. Madden, I love their sets in Madden. There's so much going on in Madden though, And I don't know if I like how many variations of each card there are at one time, but I do like the quick sell cards. I think that is definitely something that's got to be incorporated next year in NHL, where
What's
you get
Sorry, go
so
ahead.
they have a card. So I pulled, say, an 86 wide receiver. I don't know too much about the NFL. I follow
Hmm.
the Lions, but you can't really call what they do on the field football. So, so I pulled an 86 wide receiver. Cool. I'm not ever going to use him. He doesn't have a lot of value. However, you quick sell him, you get like 75,000 coins as opposed to what you would get for normally quick selling him.
Okay, I see.
He still had value, even though that's just a small sample of what it would be. But you got something for the card, even though he was pretty much useless.
Right. So, what's and what do they do with their sets that are much better than ours?
I mean, the first thing that I can say is they have upgrade sets right at the beginning of the year, man. That's awesome to me. Like you can train up a card, or you can trade stuff in to make a card better right at the beginning of the year. That is a card that, like, I want to be able to grind for. Again, I like the grind of Ultimate Team. I like the grind. I like to spend time on my team. And like I said, with MLB, I had my team right away. Like, I
Right.
opened up a few packs and I was like, okay, well, I have a good team now. Like, cool. But Madden, you can grind, and you can really get. Sorry, something came to mind here where there's like 77 different currencies in that Madden, by the way, and that's dumb in my mind. They don't need to have that many currencies. They can tone it down a little bit. But when it comes to their sets and that, I love the upgrading. I love the trade in, which is kind of what we're doing right now. Like what I mentioned with the McDavid, they have
Yeah.
started. It's similar to that, but I think Madden has a way better in-depth process.
Yeah, I'm hoping that, from what we've seen from these last two events where we've had the grind for a certain player, which
Yeah.
is, it's a lot of objectives, obviously, and people have
Yeah.
found, people found ways to make it go faster, but
Mhm.
for the most part, I really like that. And then obviously this last one where we have the collectibles to discount the master set, I think it's a good
Yes,
idea
I
for
like that.
sure.
Absolutely.
I hope that it means that we're going in that direction with more of our events in the future.
Yeah, that's I you have to hope. Like, that's
Mhm.
at the beginning of the year, you got nothing.
Yeah.
And now we're getting a free 94, we're getting collectibles that you can use to discount cards. Like, that's definitely um trending in the right direction.
Yeah. So what about collections? A lot of people were really a big fan of the old collections, and I know we have it's I wrote the funny thing is that I wrote these questions before that stuff came out where
Right, right.
the
98 Taves and that.
A98 Taves and that. So it's a little bit, I guess, of a different perspective now. But would you want to see collections make a return? Would you have appreciated the communication that at 98 Taves or something was gonna come out of doing those sets, or whatever?
I remember, God, NHL 14 or 15, like doing the collections and having a great time, staying up till 3 a.m. trying to find the right card and getting the right coins to finally build the team so I
Yeah.
could get packs. And that's it. That's all you got when you first started
Yeah.
doing, was you got those untradeable packs.
Yeah.
Cool, awesome. I wanted to grind for it.
Yeah.
I keep bringing that up. I love the grind, right? And now I like the idea of the 98 days. Um, I don't think that it should have been brought up earlier, because I mean, people having the 98 days, a couple days into the game could have been really troublesome.
Oh, for sure.
But maybe some more, yeah, communication might be the right word here. Maybe you could build like an 88 days to start, and then it upgrades or
Right.
something. I like upgrading. I do like upgrading cards. Like, I like uh Evos back in the day, or fantasy cards you call them now. When they score a goal, they go up. I like that. I like that idea. I like cards that upgrade. The hometown hero card or whatever you get for pre-ordering the game.
Hmm.
I took the Oshi.
Yeah,
He's
me
going
too.
up 1 overall. Like, I like that idea. I think that um having a card that keeps its value is very important. So yeah, if you want to do taste at the beginning of the year, that's cool, but you have to have him upgrade. If he caps at 96 or something, express that to the people so that way they know, hey, you get that card, you can keep it though. It's going to be on your team the rest of the year. Don't worry. Yeah, I think more communication would be ideal. But
Yeah, I don't think I definitely wouldn't have wanted that set to be available at the beginning of the year with anything. I just
yeah,
like I think one thing that people definitely complained about was like we didn't know that that was going to turn into anything. Like
yeah,
we had no
exactly.
idea because this was a brand new thing, right? Like we didn't have these sets in previous years, so there was no precedent to be like, "Oh, okay, we know that X number of months into the year there's going to be some trade in where if you do all these then you get a benefit from it." So I
Exactly,
think
yeah.
that's more what I'm talking about is that just like
Sure.
the random people that just did them for God knows why because they weren't really even good
I did a
players.
bunch
Like,
of them.
yeah, I mean, I did a couple because I just had like most of the players in my collection from opening
Yeah.
packs that I was just like, all right, I'll buy like a couple of these guys and finish it just for the free whatever.
Also, though, how many
Um,
people traded those cards in though for collectibles or for rerolls or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Like
like I can't
that's
imagine how many more that I could have made because when I
yeah,
did those, that was like the first week of the game. That like I did ones that I think I did like a Hurricanes one and it gave me like a jumbo premium or something, and I was like, I already
yeah,
have all the players for this, so I might as well just send them in. But
exactly, yeah.
from there, I traded them all in, and I mean, like I said, who knows how many I could have made at that point.
Hmm.
So I'm sure there's tons more people that play the game way more than I do that feel the same way.
Well, now you got to think though that people next year are just going to save all their cards. They're not going to want to trade anything in because
Yeah.
this is probably going to come out. And then if EA doesn't release this, then they look like jerks, right? So,
And I
um,
think that's definitely a concern of mine for sure because they've done a lot of things that have been like opposite of the precedents in recent years, I think. Like with this, I think new people kind of took over working on the hut and being in charge of the hut program or you know, mode or whatever,
right,
from previous years, and so they were kind of like, all right, we're not doing evos anymore. We're not doing team of the year is not going to be at the same time. Like our team of the year is going to be now, and so that way, like the hot year doesn't end in April, like things like that.
right.
So it'll be interesting to see if those sets are actually in the game and what they do with it next year because yeah, I mean, people are definitely going to be expecting to save up for a 98 in
Yes.
March or whatever.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And I don't want them to like have shot themselves in the foot by doing this because I think it is awesome. I
Mm-hmm.
like this kind of thing. Like I like the idea of being able to trade stuff in. Takes me back. I read a comment in the chat there about Hut Heroes, and takes me back to when you got the Hut Heroes, and somebody mentioned you got a collectible with them. So you got the player, but you also got the collectible, and you traded in the collectibles for the player. Maybe they should do something like that again. So that way, if you do accidentally trade in a player, you get rid of a player, you're not screwed. You have to do that set again, you know?
Right. Yeah, no, that's an interesting idea for sure. For sure. Yeah, it's hot is always such an interesting conversation when you get
Get
to
it?
all these nitty gritty because there's so many different factors involved in all
Mm-hmm.
this. Um, but let's see, what else have we talked about? Oh, we haven't talked about Hot Rush at all. You play your Hot Rush every week, don't you?
I do. I have to finish it in within an hour, couple hours every
Really?
week, man. Yep.
Wow. Okay, so I guess you would probably say it's had a successful first year then.
I like Cut Rush. I do. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think that, um, I mean, even my chat, like when I'm streaming and that, they get excited for the new Hut Rush. They want to see what the rewards are, and the rewards are not changing, and there's no grind anymore, and it's starting to become. People are starting to get a little on edge about Hut Rush.
Hmm.
They're starting to give up on it, I think.
So it hasn't changed in how long?
Well, okay, so first off, there was a ton of rewards. This is
Hmm.
about the same rewards. Like, don't get me wrong. The rewards were about the same, but there was more to do. And as the years gone on, first you got like you were starting to get icon collectibles every week. Hell yeah, like that's awesome. A collectible. They took that away. And now they're making it 20 tiers for 2 weeks when it was, 25 tiers for 1 week. And it's starting to become less and less like if I'm done Hut Rush, the 2 week Hut Rush, if I'm done that in a day, I gotta wait 2 weeks to be able to play that again. Or I can play
Right.
it, but for what?
But for nothing, because you don't
Yeah.
even get coins or anything.
I had a very interesting conversation with the one and only Bacon Country about Hut Rush, actually. And
Okay.
he tried to say, okay, do you think Hut Rush is fun? I'm like, yeah, it's fun. I enjoy playing it. And he's like, will you play it if you're not getting anything? I went, probably not. And he's like, then you don't think it's fun. You play it for the rewards. And I came back with, I like Fallout. Fallout's one of my favorite games. I will play it until I'm done all the objectives. I'm not going to keep playing it after I'm done the objectives because what the fuck is there to do? Sorry for swearing. But there's
It's
nothing to
fine.
do. I'm not gaining anything from playing it anymore. The game is fun. It's one of my favorites. But what am I doing? What I'm gonna walk around and read the signs. There's nothing to do. So if they give us more objectives, they give us more things to do, more things to grind for. Not everyone's going to do it, but the people who do it will really appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely hear you on that. So I guess if you were to change something about Heart Rush, it would be the timeline, the reward system.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't feel like Rush needs to grant some crazy rewards. I don't think that's necessary whatsoever. But I do think that putting a cap on a 2 week rush that can be finished immediately, legitimately, if it takes you 2 hours to finish Rush, there's how many days that you're just going by that you forget about Rush. You don't even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you even going to bother trying to complete the next one? You know what I mean? I don't think there needs to be even an icon collectible might be too much. You might want to give that out. Whatever, that's fine. But if you're going to give us, Rush for 2 weeks, you got to give us a reason to play it, because like the make 50 passes, you can get that done in one game, and there you go. There's 100,000 points. If it's only
Right.
2 million points to finish it, you're doing the objectives and you're done. You know what I mean? I feel like the rewards are fine. There just needs to be more of them. There needs to be more tiers. There needs to be more to do.
Yeah, I wonder if it has anything to do with like, their engagement stats, and maybe they see that people aren't finishing them, so then like the hardcore players like yourself are punished in a way because
Sure.
other people aren't playing it or aren't finishing the tiers. But I would be interested to see them go like way beyond and just have like a ton of tiers with like
Sure,
a
yeah.
ton of points
I don't
every
care
single
if people
week
don't
that
finish it.
people finish. They you don't finish it, but like if you really want to play Hot Rush for a ton of hours every single week, you can get to like tier 50 and get something really cool.
Exactly. I would love to see that. I think that would be awesome.
Mm.
I think that would be great. I think people who play Hot Rush, people who actually enjoy it, would really appreciate that.
Mm.
A reason to keep playing it. You know what I mean? Like there's it's fun, but it's no different than say going to play NHL threes in ESHL.
Right, because after you're done, you're just
Yeah, there's no
it's
reward.
nothing.
What so why are you bothering, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean that's what Hut's all about. Everything you do is you get something for it. It's about building up your team and doing things for something.
Yes.
Would you want to see, this is an idea that I've been trying to pitch to EA for a while now. Since we heard of Hot Rush, would you want to see a competitive version of it, or some sort of
We all know what happened the last time there was a competitive version of Hot Rush.
some sort of not talking about that. Some sort of CS or something that has the arcade playlists of threes, or first goal wins or something, with a leaderboard or a tourney or something like that, kind of in Hut as an alternative mode.
I would love it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it would be a ton of fun.
I gotta keep pitching this to people to hear them say that they love it, so that I can get more people on my my circle there. So that when I tell them
like,
they need to add this, they'll add it.
So imagine what we were talking about at the beginning of this conversation. We need something a little bit more to do in Hut. There needs to be a little bit more to do. What if they added that in Monday to Friday? Just something Monday to Friday,
Something.
please.
Are there other
I
modes?
would love that, yeah.
Any other modes that you would want to see? Anything other than CS or something draft based? People always bring up, BR.
I mean, BR would be cool, but I very, very lightly experimented with that, so I don't know too much about it. I don't want to, I just don't want to touch on something that I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
the idea is just you draft a team that's so it's supposed to be fair for everybody. You use your drafted team, and then you try to go 12-0. If you get 3 losses, you're out.
I mean, we had Draft Champions and that flopped, but I thought Draft Champions when it first came out was great.
Yeah.
When the first year that Draft Champions was out, that was probably my favorite game mode, to be honest with you.
Really?
It was.
I never put too much time into it, but I know that
So
there
you
were a
could
lot of
earn
people that
great
went
rewards.
to get that many Malhotra.
Oh yeah, you could earn great rewards, but not only could you just earn great rewards, the gameplay was even. If you don't have a great team, you were drafting the team, and that's exactly what you had just said with BR there. I do like the idea of Draft Champions. I don't like that they took it out, but I understand that obviously engagement was super, super low. considering the rewards were so bad.
Yeah, I think one issue that so there were two things, right? Like at the first year the rewards were good. They took
Yeah.
forever to get, but they were good. And
Yes.
like people wanted those cards on their team.
Exactly.
The following years there was like basically nothing for them.
Yeah, it was.
And it wasn't supported at all, and so it wasn't
Here's an
played, and
exclusive
it
85.
yeah, and it
Cool.
kind of it gets into that vicious
Yeah.
cycle that they always talk about with GM Connected, where like, oh well, nobody's playing it. It's like, yeah, nobody's playing it because it doesn't offer you anything. Like, why would you play it? So I think like
I feel like Rush is in the same risk.
right, and I think that's kind of the issue that they're facing with that, or that they faced with that, was that it it was because it was a separate mode. I think it needs to be integrated into like CS or Rivals or something,
Sure.
so that
Yeah.
like when you go to play CS, you click on competitive seasons, you're in that screen, and then it just tells you like, hey, draft your team. So if you want to play
Yeah.
this, and then you just draft your team. You don't have
I
to
would love
go to a different mode to draft champions and do that, and then come back to
Yeah.
hunt for your rewards later. It puts it out of the way, and so it's like an out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, especially when the
Exactly.
rewards suck.
Yeah, I would love that. If you were to incorporate CS with draft champions, or even a draft in general for a CS, something like that would be huge. Like,
Yeah,
I
like
think people would love that.
doesn't even need to be like a fancy, 12 win like BR type thing.
No.
Just having a draft based CS I think would be pretty cool.
Yes.
Because one of the
Oh, for sure.
issues that they face, I always loved themed CSs, like with the restrictions and everything. I
Oh, me
always
too. Me
really
too.
liked those. But again, it was one of those things where they didn't have as high engagement with them because I guess
Yeah.
people had trouble. Like if you don't play the game a lot, then you don't really have the ability to adapt to your
Change
team
different
to
teams and stuff.
yeah. No, but that's good. Like I said, I always really want to see. Those are two modes that I really want to see. BR I think would be cool. I mean, it basically is the same thing as far as draft based modes, but
Sure.
using competitive hot rush is like, it's like my $1 million idea. I'm like, I really want to watch like streamers try to do a competitive like first goal wins. I just think it would be like amazing content.
Oh my god, it'd be insane.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
It'd be so much fun. I still don't like that they haven't added a play a friend into Hut Rush.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it. And again, it's the same thing as the ESHL. You can play threes or whatever, but like, you gotta give us that. Like, you add this new game mode in that people are excited to play, and you can't play your friends. It's kind of
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a little bit of a missed opportunity there because you can't do I don't know, like you could do like content tourneys or something if you wanted to. You could set your own thing and have streamers do a little tournament of first goal wins or something like that. I think it would be pretty cool, but
I think that would be awesome. But
yeah.
All
right, so I mean that's pretty much all I gotta ask about HUD. I think that's pretty good.
Sure.
A good conversation there. We touched a little bit on gameplay. Since you do play the game a lot, aside from just opening packs.
Yes.
So how are you feeling about gameplay currently? Everybody says it's stale. It's a lot of cross creases. What's your take? As I assume it's going to be a little bit different from what we heard last week.
I'm not a competitive player, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But even I am getting kind of worn out with the repetitiveness of every game kind of feeling the same. You hop into a game, you score a goal, awesome, cool, I scored, and now he's gonna come down and cross crease score. And like, don't get me wrong, HUT's been like that for years. I don't like the stigma that, oh, this year is only the cross crease. This is the only year that cross crease has been an issue. It's not.
Yeah.
It's been the same. It's always been a thing. And I don't know why that stigma's there. I remember bringing up Bacon Country again. He literally had a whole like series built around the year of the 1T because that was how you scored in the game. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, that's not anything new.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been, I think, the most popular, common goal scored in the game. I think maybe this year it just feels a little bit more so than that. I think it comes from the fact that people are feeling like there's no reason to do anything else versus compared to it's only cross creases. Like, I think they're as effective as they always have been, but it's relatively more they're relatively better because everything else like isn't effective.
Yeah, exactly. And I see a lot of people saying that like you can't defend the cross crease. There are ways to defend it. You can lie down, you can jump in front of it. It's gonna get through sometimes. But it's like that the same year, the same thing as last year. If you go back and play NHL 20 right now, it doesn't feel any different.
Right.
And I think that's something a lot of people don't take into account. They honestly feel almost the same when it comes to cross creases. Although I do like the gameplay more this year. I think I enjoy. I don't want to say something that pisses a lot of people off, but I do feel like the game feels a lot different than last year.
Okay.
I
mean,
do
that's
feel
a good thing.
it does. It's a good thing, but like I guarantee somebody in the chat at some point will be like, "Nah, it's identical. It's the same. It feels the same. You're an idiot. This guy knows nothing." I guarantee it's going to happen.
Right.
But like if you go back and you play the older games, they don't feel the same. The skating feels a little bit different, or something else feels a little bit different. Are goalies better? No. God, they're not. No, goalies suck. They always suck, and they always will suck. Overall, it's for the goalie. Do not matter, and I will defend that to the day I die.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I you know, with goalies, I don't want them to be good is the thing, because I think
I agree. I agree.
I think that's bad. It's like PAX, it's kind of like the same conversation we were having about PAX. I don't want them to be good, because then it just gets super frustrating when you make a really good play and they just get saved.
You get robbed.
So,
however, I'm in the same boat you are. I don't want them to be good, but I also don't want my games to be 15-14 every time.
Oh yeah, no, I hear that. I hear that.
And I think that consistency is the word that needs to be brought up. There needs to be more consistency.
Yeah, I think you could also argue that they could probably make it so that maybe they're a little bit better on certain reads, so that I mean, if I don't know that they have really dynamic AI yet, but like maybe in the future they could have dynamic AI, so that that if a player is constantly passing it across, that your goalie's like aware of this.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to see that. I think that would be huge. Man, when it comes to goaltending, I don't want to spend too much time on goaltending, because we both know exactly how goaltending is. When it comes to it, and I have scored more goals in the last 2 weeks with super fast players just walking in and going around the goalie than I have, I think, ever. And that's got to be addressed. It's different if like I'm making a deke or something, but I'm not. I'm just skating fast and the goalie can't keep up. It doesn't matter what the overall of the goalie is; they just don't keep up, and I think that's a problem.
Yeah, I think the other problem with goalies is the fact that the overalls really have never mattered, like, at all.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody just uses the tallest guy, and like some years, we are like, oh no, it matters this year. Like, Ben Bishop isn't the best goalie at the start, and then you just end up circling back, and now everybody still uses whoever is 6'5" or above.
Exactly.
Yeah. What about like, so do you try to use more creative plays in your gameplay? Do you like using deking stuff?
I do. I like the deeks. I think it's more fun to do it that way. But if you're in a sweaty game, it's futile. You're going to get run over for playing like that, and I think that's a problem. I'll bring up Henrique. I have a couple videos up playing against Henrique. His passing plays are absolutely ridiculous. It's like playing the AI on Superstar on squad battles when you have an all bronze team. It's ridiculous. And people like that deserve to be rewarded for making those damn plays, but you don't see those plays very often.
Right.
Myself, if I'm on a breakaway, I 100% am doing some kind of deke. The forehand backhand works every time. Every time. Let's do something different. And I think they've kind of rectified that. Like, you can do the Datsuk flip and it goes in almost every time, Leafy. Almost every time, Leafy, it goes in. Almost every time.
Yeah, I wonder who figured that one out.
I know, right? It's weird, but I don't know. Like, if you do the Datsuk flip, there you go. You have a deke. That's awesome. It's cool. Sometimes you won't score it. Sure, you'll miss the net, or the goalie will make a weird save, but it's fine. That's how it should be. I don't think the forehand backhand should be as effective as it is. The Kucherov is my favorite goal to score, 100%. It feels so nice when you do pull it off. And like, if you watch me play, I'll always try something, or someone in the chat will bring up, hey, try this move. Okay, I'll do it. But if you're playing champs competitively and whatnot, you're not going to do any of that stuff.
Right.
You're gonna go for the sure thing every single time, So.
And for me, that's a problem, because I want the game to be like as creative as possible. I always talk about
Exactly.
this.
Yes.
I love not this isn't even really like an arcade versus simulation debate. It's more just like, with the current NHL, you see cool stuff happen all the time in real life.
Yep.
And I mean that's why they've added those moves into the game, but
No one uses them.
nobody uses them in high level play. And I don't know. Some of them like really aren't even they don't even really have like effective situations. Like there's really no
Yeah.
way that you even ever use them. So for me that's definitely a problem, and I like to ask because I talked last week. I talked to Nuge, and Nuge just spams buttons all the time. If you've ever watched him play, and like I talked to Nasher like a few weeks ago, and it's the same thing. So I want to ask somebody who maybe plays a little bit different than that.
I'll be the first to admit that if I'm streaming, I will play differently than when I'm playing off stream. Not that I won't still try the moves off stream and whatnot, but I feel it's more fun to watch if you're trying different moves and doing different things on stream. So, I definitely do them more when I'm live or recording a video or something like that. However, I still definitely do it if I'm not recording because it's just more fun. It's
Yeah,
just
no, 100%.
I'm not a top player. I'm not a competitive player, and I honestly, at the end of the day, don't really care too much about my record. And I think a lot of people are the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to win, you want to do great and everything, but at the end of the day, like I'm still getting rewards. I'm having fun. That's all I really care about. You know what I mean? I'm not super hardcore. I'm not going to make GWC. I'm not going to get a top 5 in champs one week. It's not going to happen, but I enjoy playing,
I
so
think you have the right mindset there. Just to be clear, I think that's the way to play sports games, but that's just me.
yeah.
Do you have any other, major complaints about gameplay or things that you would like to see changed? Bumps is something people always talk about. Just to give you an example, like I don't know, anything that you would want to really see. I mean, the thing is like one complaint that I've read a lot this year is that we haven't had a game update since like launch, basically. No patches, nothing. So
Yeah.
anything.
I think okay, so I'm happy with the gameplay this year, and a lot of people are not, and I get that, but I like it. It feels like a hockey game,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I don't want this to turn into something that it's not. I feel like sometimes the faster player is faster, and sometimes it doesn't happen. But like obviously that's every game. That's not something that has changed. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
One thing I would like to see, which obviously is not going to happen right now, but maybe in the future, is bigger ice. Especially at the beginning of the year, I like the idea of having more ice and more room to be able to try and pull off moves. Or I have Matt Duchene on the ice, let me use his speed. You know what I mean? Right now, getting into where we are right now, everyone has 95 plus speed and acceleration,
Yep.
especially with synergies, making it increasingly more difficult to try off a move or whatever because there's always a guy in your face. I think if you have more ice, the ice is bigger. I don't know how they would really do this. I'm not a programmer. I'm not, anything like that.
Yeah,
But
because I think the ice it's supposed to be like a realistic ratio
yeah,
between the
exactly,
players and
exactly.
the surface.
Although when I'm playing Rush and we do get into the international Rush, I feel like I'm having more fun on that.
Oh yeah, I agree.
There's just more room, and I like the idea of it having more room. So I don't know if you, um, like they tried to help the speed and the excel this year by giving upgrades a plus or a 0.5 instead of a +1 on every upgrade. But it's already starting to get into the point where it doesn't matter who you have on the ice; they're all the same speed.
Right.
And it's only been 5 months,
Yeah.
6 months. We're halfway through, and we're already at that point. So, for bumps and whatnot, I'm not super concerned with it. My PK Subban runs over people like he should, even though he's only 6'1". Because PK Subban does hit hard, like that's. But Jack Hughes, I don't ever find him hitting anyone, like bumping anyone. So
Right.
like I don't think bumps are a huge issue. I do play on both consoles, and I do notice a giant difference between the two, though.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
No, let's hear about that. I didn't even know that
the
was a thing.
gameplay is so much slower on Xbox, so much slower, and
Really?
it's not a factor of the team because my first line still has all 95, Excel, whatever, and I find myself bored to tears playing on Xbox because it feels so much slower.
I have not heard of that. That's really
Um,
interesting. I mean, I know like a few years ago with the bumps, there was none on PS4 and they were terrible on
Yeah.
Xbox. But since that
Um,
happened, I have not heard anything as far as differences between consoles. So that's really
Henrik
interesting.
played on PlayStation for the first time this year. He
Mm.
has a PS5 now. So he started doing content on PS5. He has a worse team, but he's like, no, the gameplay is much faster, even with a worse team on PlayStation. It's so much faster.
That's crazy.
And I've talked to a few different people who have agreed. And I'm not saying that one console is better than the other. I'm not starting a console war, but I do definitely feel the difference. It feels way more responsive on PlayStation.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I gotta ask some people now and hear about that. That's really interesting.
Also, something I've noticed, and I don't know if you ever heard about, um, I play hybrid, right? I play hybrid. Now, hybrid and skill stick are almost identical. You still shoot with a stick and whatnot. I've had this conversation with a million people.
Hmm.
However, there is a difference between the two in terms of passing. Hybrid passing is way faster. The pass goes off your stick much quicker.
Do you pass with the A button? Is that how that
Uh,
works?
yeah, I think
X.
that I don't have an Xbox
X.
controller in here, but
Sorry.
yeah, X, yeah, I
Yeah.
do,
It's
and it does
just
feel
I don't
faster.
even know how you would. I don't. That's just the most unnatural thing I've ever heard.
That's how I've always played. I
I
don't know what you want.
That's interesting though. And most people, everybody I know plays on skill stick except for like Mivians. So,
Vivian
yeah.
kicks my ass how me play. I'm not gonna lie to you, but
Okay. Well, I'll also keep that in mind.
no, that
Um,
could just be personal like thoughts and whatnot. But like, I definitely like I notice a difference. I definitely do, and it might all be in my head, and I might be crazy, but I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I think I mean, I guess if other people are also saying they notice the speed difference on PlayStation, then maybe it's worth investigating a little bit. But I
Uh,
imagine there's not like too many people that put like enough time into both
it's
consoles to
both,
really
yeah.
notice it. So it's hard when.
I think another issue. Sorry to bring champs back up here. Another
No,
issue
no,
is the
whatever you got.
rewards. Something has to change with that. I got 6 wins on Xbox and stopped playing because like I'm not gonna play 40 games a weekend. I'm sorry, it's not happening. But I
Yeah.
got 6 wins on Xbox and I finished like 11-27 or something like that. And I got 11 wins on PlayStation, and I was worse on PlayStation than I was on Xbox. What the hell? I don't know if you gotta do something to make it like wins based, where wins
Yeah.
gets this many rewards, but
I think it needs
that's
to be just tiered instead of
yeah.
ranking
I mean,
because of
that's crazy to
I
me.
mean it's the same thing like with how many there's that long list of players that go 20-0 and then like the
Yeah,
bottom one gets something different because they fell out
exactly.
of this because of an arbitrary points value that they have
Well,
no
6
control
wins on
over.
PlayStation doesn't rank you. You don't get you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
you're just
that's insane to me that you're getting 6 wins on Xbox and you're getting like pretty decent rewards, to be honest, for getting 6 wins.
that
And
I mean yeah, that's crazy. Like I didn't really I mean I know that there's a big
big
difference in
difference.
the player number. Like I know there's way more people on PS4, but I didn't know that there were that many more.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that's wild.
I did a little rant on it on Twitter a couple weeks
Mm.
ago because I realized what happened. I'm like, what is this? Like, why am I grinding on PlayStation when I can play a few games on Xbox and get the same rewards?
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right, so just to wrap up here, I figure I ask like as far as additions to the game, things that you would like to see them add. What are your top things that you would love to see in the future when NHL 22 comes out and you get a glimpse at the feature set? What is it that you want to see in there? Um, if you don't say GM connected, people are gonna riot.
I don't care about GM Connected.
I don't either,
I
but
don't care.
you know.
I don't know, man. Like I feel like we take a step forward with adding Hut Rush. Hut Rush was something I feel like was needed for sure. But then we took away Hut Champs. We took away online CS, which nobody played online CS anyways. I get it, but like we every time we add something, we take it away. In terms of the game, I like the idea of a battle royale. I like the idea of draft champions. I like that, and I want to see that. I
Mm.
want to see something like that. I don't care if there's a buy-in. I don't care. I want that. That's content to me. That's fun. That's engaging. You know what I mean? People want to see that, and they want to see the competitiveness.
Yeah, I think because I think FIFA drafts has a buy-in or something, but yeah,
I think so.
yeah.
I have yet to play FIFA. I'm going to attempt it the first time tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
Before,
Okay.
but I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna check it out and see what their ultimate team mode is all about. So that should be fun. But I don't know, man. I sit here and I think about it like, what do I want added in the NHL? Is it GM Connected? I don't give a crap about GM Connected. I'm sorry to all you GM Connected fans. It doesn't affect me. It's not something I'm going to play. And that's not because I don't like GM mode. It's just trying to get 4 or 5 friends, 6 friends to commit is not happening. I'm too old now. My friends have lives. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
what are you? You gotta be like 25. Like, what are you?
I am 27.
Okay.
Okay, 27, not yet. I'm 26. 27 in August. I keep aging myself. Why am I doing this? But like, I'm getting married in a year. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't have time for that. It's sad reality. I don't have time for that. So it doesn't affect me. I don't care about GM Connected. If they add it in, great for the people who want it.
Right.
I think they need to add it in for those people.
That's what I always say when people ask me this question. I'm like, just I'll say GM Connected. That way I don't have to keep hearing about it anymore. Like,
that's exactly
just
it.
go away.
Yeah. I don't know though, but like, okay, we won't hear about GM Connected, but we're gonna hear about something else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Be a Pro, they added in some new Be a Pro stuff, and it's like, well, fuck, it's cool you did Be a Pro. Where's this? It's like you were literally asking for Be a Pro, and now you're asking. All
right,
like,
all right.
I don't know what I want. I don't know.
Okay. You're ready to be surprised
for
something
stuff.
good.
I want to grind. That's what I want.
Okay. All right. I got one question from chat from way back when, and it was to ask you what your favorite bagel is.
My favorite bagel?
Yeah.
We
talk about food a lot on my channel, so you just gotta.
That's fair.
Yeah. We just talk about food like all the time, so I have to know what your favorite bagel is.
I had a bagel.
What?
Never eaten a bagel, man. That's not for me. I'm not. I don't eat a lot. I look like I eat a lot, but I don't. I am not somebody who eats a lot of food.
You've never eaten a bagel?
I don't know what to tell you. I work as a supervisor at a Tim Hortons, and I've never had a bagel.
That's honestly one of the most absurd things I've ever heard in my life. That a 27-year-old has never eaten a bagel. 26 and a half has never eaten a bagel. What's the
difference between a fucking plain bagel and a slice of bread?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, we gotta end this podcast now. Gotta end this now. I don't even know how to. I can't even compose myself to do an outro now. This is ridiculous. I mean, chat's rioting. This is.
Okay, wait. I did have one at Tim's before. I lied, but it's one that they don't make, and I don't know if you can even consider it a bagel because it's more of a dessert. So like, it was a caramel apple bagel, and it was delicious. But like,
okay. I mean, I don't even know what that would be, but I mean, I guess that's fine.
It was good, but like it was bread with, you know what I mean? Like it didn't.
I don't even know. Okay. Well, we're just gonna forget that those last like 3 minutes just happened. Somebody in chat just said delete it and burn the recording.
Oh my god.
That's pretty good. But Thrash, thank you for this. This was good. You had a lot of good conversation. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. I like talking about this stuff. I do, and nobody ever wants to talk about it. So
yeah, I mean, I love listening to people talk about this stuff. I don't really talk a whole lot myself, but
Pat is losing his damn mind in the chat right now. This is awesome.
I mean, you just insulted, like we had a whole conversation for like an hour about bagels. Like, I don't know, the other stream, and I
don't know why bagels are a big thing. Like,
it's just, you just got, clearly you have to have one to understand why it's better than bread.
I also don't eat a lot of bread though. Like,
neither do I, but I never eat bread at all, but I have had I've had like tons of bagels in my life. I mean, I don't look like I eat anything, so.
I don't know. I wake up, I have 3 eggs. I have the same fucking routine. I wake up, I have 3 eggs. I wait till lunch. I have cereal, and then I have dinner. That's my routine.
And never a bagel. That's just crazy.
Never a bagel.
Like, you know, you ever go out for breakfast? I mean, you know, not now, but like, you know, when there wasn't a
Yeah, of
pandemic
course.
going on.
I usually, if I go out for breakfast, I usually get like a wrap.
Okay.
Like I get there's a place called Baker's that I go to, and they do like a breakfast wrap.
Yeah. You never, I don't know. I feel like you gotta branch out and go get like a bacon, egg, and cheese or something like that. Like, I mean, I don't eat bacon, but like that's what people eat. So.
I don't eat bacon either.
Okay, well then, like an egg and cheese.
I just I don't like talking about food because every time I talk about food, people are like, "What? No, you don't like bacon? Oh, here we go. Now you don't like bacon. You don't like bagels. What? Yeah, you're gonna tell me you don't like this either? I don't like this guy. I'm not watching this channel. This is how this works.
All right. We'll just end it. Thrash, thank you for being here. Everybody who has watched or listened, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. We'll be back next week, Wednesday at noon, with somebody else who I don't know who it is yet because I honestly haven't asked anybody, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys next time.